when you distribute a film theatrically, you hear that these films are making millions of dollars of box office receipts, right? But as we just mentioned, to actually generate that millions of dollars of box office receipts and millions of people going and see it, okay, you have to have a copy of the film available at every single theater. You'd have to advertise so that you would get everybody to show up at the film when you open it. So we call that the prints and the ads. So in a film, let's say that it cost $30 million, okay, you'd probably spend $30 million of prints and advertising on it. So let's assume we have a $30 million film. We have $30 million of prints and ads. Now, why am I saying $30 million prints and ads? It was thousands of dollars each copy of your film. Multiply that by 3,000 theaters, you've got $30 million of just prints, cost of printing, right? You're copying your film itself. We're not talking about, sending it via the internet into now a digital projector. It was a physical copy. So $30 million film, $30 million of prints and ads, that would have to generate $60 million of box office, right? To cover it. That's on the presumption that the film producer or the distributor of the film would get 100% of the box office. The exhibitor gets 50% of the box office, right? So now that film has to make $120 million before you just covered the cost of the film and the prints and ads.
Oh, P&A is potentially enormous. There's entire financiers whose business it is to just finance P&A costs.
So your film made $100 million. Let's say you were one of the people in the film, involved in this film, or even invested in the film, or a writer of the film, or an actor of the film, and this film has made $120 million, yet there's no money, there's no profit at the end still of that film. So on theatrical, that's why when you saw that you wanted to get that theatrical distribution out there and make it happen, okay, what you were hoping and betting on is that that theatrical distribution created a buzz, okay? And people knew about the film, so that what they would do is they would buy it for their home video, or they would rent it at Blockbuster or some other home video rental place, right? And therefore generate revenue now in that second window, which we called home video window. And airlines would buy it, pay television companies would buy it, cable TV companies would buy it. So you are generating now all of a sudden maybe another $100 million of revenue in those other streams. So even though you didn't make money theatrically, by having it theatrically released, it generated those other revenues. And that's where people started making money.
And that's why people, they still care about this. How did the movie open? What was its opening weekend numbers, right? Because based on that number, you're able to calculate with some degree of certainty, at least, or predict how it's going to perform downstream in the other modes of distribution, let alone theatrically during the entire run of its theatrical run.